Hey, everybody. It's Jade. How you faring? I hope you're doing well on this fine Wednesday. And it being Wednesday, you know what that means. Survivor's on later. Who's going to be watching? Yep, it's Survivor night. It sure is. But, of course, it's also Wolves Wednesday. Duh. So, talking Timbies, going to talk a little Minnesota Timberwolves here. And since I last checked in, since my last Wolves Wednesday, I got to say, snaps for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yes, it's a long season, but they are actually a Minnesota sports team that can get their record over 500. Something that the Minnesota Vikings have yet to accomplish. But talking Timberwolves, so here we go. The Timberwolves, they find themselves sitting at a record of 11-10. So good for them. They're one game over 500, but they did it. They did it. All right, so let me pull my notes up here for the Timberwolves, because of course took the nerd notes, like I do. Well, obviously these are my notes. Yes, my notes are Google, but yeah, just pulling up the Google here of Minnesota Timberwolves. They got a game tonight versus the Washington Wizards. So, like I said, the Wolves, there they are. They're sitting at 11-10. The Wizards, they're 13-8. So, it should be a good one. Hopefully, the Wolves can just continue on. They were on a 5-game winning streak, last one, and now back again. So, anyway, let's dive on into my notes. All right, 11-10. Yes, here we go. And then, like I said, obviously tonight the Wolves are at the Washington Wizards, who find themselves 13-8. So, since last week, basically, as some of you may or may not know, I don't get to watch the full games, like rarely ever. So I always have to just watch the highlights, the compilations. But I want to watch more just so I could really like dive in. So the Wolves, they got a victory over Miami last week, and that was a big one because none other than Jimmy Butler returning to town. So I have written down there, take that, Jimmy Butler, take that. All right, so the Wolves got the victory, 113-101, and like I mentioned earlier, the 5-game winning streak there, very good. And, Jimmy Butler being back, former team, and you may or may not know how that kind of ended, but Jimmy Butler, very vocal, poking cat, trying to poke him, trying to get this team to do something here, just really like poking and prodding, and then kind of blew up, and, there was a lot of emotions when Jimmy Butler left. So anyway, so Butler was getting booed at Target Center. I mean, every time he touched the ball, just boo. I kind of love that a little bit. And Jimmy Butler, like, he should not be surprised by that. I'm sure he was expecting it. It's like he's a full-on adult. He could take it. And then there was a moment too where Anthony Edwards kind of like shoved Jimmy Butler, and there was a little bit of like a stare down match there. But I just like Ant's attitude. I'm liking it. The more I see it, he is just like emerging as the true leader of this team, if he already isn't. And I have my notes here from the game versus Miami. D'Angelo Russell dances with the ball and dances with it in a good way. And I like to see Karl-Anthony Towns getting aggressive. I like to see the big man get aggressive. Like, again, there's just so much more in there. There's so much more of a beast in there. But again, he's got to like tap into that. And then Beasley from the 3-point line, like, cannot be stopped. And I do have written down here too, this was, I feel like, very, very crucial. Like, Minnesota Vikings, you always say that your fans are so crucial to winning the game. Like, Minnesota Timberwolves fans, like, they were full on, like, what the kids say, that crowd was lit. All right, so versus the game versus Miami, obviously with Jimmy Butler back in town, there was extra emotions that were heightened, but I mean, the crowd, they were getting into it. And Anthony Edwards did mention too about how like helpful that is. I mean, that wasn't verbatim. Anthony Edwards wasn't like, oh yes, the crowd being loud is very helpful. But he basically was making some comments about how, how important it is. And, the crowd getting fired up, it really helps them. So take note, Minnesota Vikings. I don't know, like a team that actually gets it done, where the fans actually help. Not saying like the fans at the Bird Graveyard like don't help, but I don't know. It just seems like a little bit of a difference there. Anyway, so moving on. All right, so the 5-game winning streak was cut to an end from the Charlotte Hornets. So thanks a lot. So they lost to the Hornets. It was 133-115. So my notes for this one, Defense looked very, very tired. The defense with the Timberwolves, that's just like a point of, I don't want to say maybe contention, but they look tired. They look tired. Again, Beasley from the three, insane from the 3-point line. And then there was a block by Jaden McDaniels that really, right before halftime, that, in my opinion, really kind of like screwed the Wolves, just kind of like messed with the momentum there, especially like going right before half, and they were down by 10 at that point in time. And too, a lot of times in like the Timberwolves, they run in this like solo player offense where like they should take more time to like set up the plays, share the ball around, like a lot of talented shooters, players, but it just seems like it's always like a solo thing. Like who's going to get the ball and who's going to get to shoot it? I mean, of course, there's times of like the team ball happens, but I want to see more of that on offense. And then too, I wrote down lazy passing, turning into turnovers, which obviously equal points. So those are my notes. And like 133 to 115, not very good. All right, so Wolves, they're back on the winning wheel now. All right, the Wolves win 121 over to 120, I should say. Excuse me, over the Philadelphia 76ers. So this one was insane. So my notes from this, moving onward, and this game went into two overtimes. Very exciting. And okay, first note that I wrote down is Ant didn't dwell on an air ball, came back with a dunk. I like that. I like it. Early on, Ant airballed it. Full on air ball. Not going to dwell on that. You're going to come back and actually dunk the ball next time. I love that attitude. I love it. Not going to sit there and like wallow in the mire. Not doing that. We're going to actually like clean up the mire and make it look a lot better. All right. So, too, something that I noticed with karl-anthony Towns, he kind of reminds me of like, he's like the Minnesota Timberwolves, like Adam Thielen in a sense, both amazing players, right? I mean, amazing talent, amazing, but they both kind of like whine. There's a lot of whining going on about the no calls, with the referees. I don't like that. It's very crybaby to me. It's very crybaby. Again, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that is being missed that's not being called, but it's just not a good look. And I wrote, whining at the refs, Cat whining at the refs. It's like, dude, you lost the ball. You also fouled, like lazy defense. Just get over it. It's just not a good look. Again, I understand the frustration. I get that. I get it. But it's just when you're crybabying, it doesn't work. Not a good look. So they were tied with 2 minutes left. Offensive boards too for the Timberwolves. Key. Getting your own rebounds. Key. All right, and especially on offense, I just think that's very, very important. Very important. Like, go to the board, crush it. And Ant with a key 3-pointer. I wrote 3-pointer shot. Love it. Ant with a key 3-pointer with under a minute left. And then there was a missed free throw that caused overtime. So now we're going to go into overtime. Here we go. Cat ended up being out. I don't know, he maybe fouled out, but he was out with like 4 minutes left. So the Wolves were down with 35 seconds left. D'Angelo Russell coming in clutch, ties with a 3-pointer. It's like, okay, Timberwolves, like we know too, like in the NBA, it's all about the 3-pointer. Like we know that, but I don't know if maybe I'm like old school where I like the 3, but I'm like, what happened to like getting in for the 2, like under the basket, and not saying that doesn't happen either, because it obviously does, but there's so much 3-point shooting that goes around, and get with the times. I got to get with the times, I guess. I don't know. Am I sounding a little like Mike Zimmer? Who's doing all the 3-point shots? Let's get back to, just the gritty basketball under the hoop. Something like that. I don't know. So second overtime, here we go. Russell hitting from 3 again. So, can we complain when the shots are being made? I don't know. But, and then there was a key steal to secure, with the score to secure, the win. And like that stadium I don't even know what the Sixers building is called actually, but that arena, I guess that's the better term for basketball here. That arena was like pumped up, it was electric in there too. And then when the Wolves won, it just silence, and the silence fell over the 76er crowd, just like you could have heard a pin drop in there. I like that. 2 overtimes, getting it done. So, Vikings, take notes. Take notes. All right, and then we had the Pacers at the Minnesota Timberwolves. So this was from 2 nights ago now, 29th, I believe. Win, barely, 100-98. So the Wolves barely got a win versus a 9-14 team. That was my first note. But you know what? A win is a win, right? A win is a win, and that helped get them over 500. So Minnesota Timberwolves fans will take it. We'll take it. Again, I have written down offensive boards are key. Offensive boards are key. Like getting your own rebound if you miss and playing solid defense. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into playing basketball, obviously, but offensive boards, key. And then I didn't like this Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, it was kind of a lazy pass. Like, there was 2 or 3 people on him. Like, okay, you're getting swarmed. I understand. But it was like this behind his back throw, wasn't even looking, just kind of pretty much just like, well, I'm going to toss this basketball bouquet up here and whoever catches it, catches it. I didn't really like that, and it ended up being a turnover. And they were down the majority of the game. So I have defense, hello. And then not setting up offensive plays again. Like, are we playing a solo game on offense here? No, we're not. And so moving on to that, Anthony Edwards, you share the ball, you attack the basket, you get the rebounds, you don't dwell on air balls. Like, what else do we need here? I love it. So he shares the ball. There was a steal, and then he dunked, and another dunk. And I think there was like multiple dunks from Anthony Edwards on this game. And then I have written down, obviously, I mean, this is an obvious here, very confident. Like, Anthony Edwards is secure in who he is and secure in who he is as a basketball player, and he wants more too. You can tell that he's hungry for more. I like that attitude. I mean, how can you not? How can you not love that? If, once again, if Karl-Anthony Towns could get a little more of that, that would just be like chef's kiss here. But again, can't control other people. And so again, Anthony Edwards, just amazing. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Obviously, there's mistakes, sure. Like, I don't know if it was this game or one of the other games. Like, Ant had like kind of a key turnover, but again, he doesn't wallow in the mire. He's not a dweller. I like that. Okay, you like that? I do. All right. And then it was tied up with under a minute left. Offensive board leads to a Malik Beasley 3-pointer again. It's like completely clutch from 3, Malik Beasley. And then Josh Okogie too, coming in there with an important block, less than 30 seconds left, and that really secured the win for the Timberwolves. Granted, it was a team that's 9-14, but at the end, getting it together and getting the victory. Even though you're down the whole game, somehow, again, getting it together, got the victory. Vikings, take notes here. So the takeaways that I wrote down from this week, Ant continues to run away as the leader of this team. Absolute leader. And, maybe Karl-Anthony Towns, too. Maybe he's, like, happy about that. Maybe he's kind of, like, happy that he, like, not so much pressure is on him now. So maybe that could work better, actually. And, I mean, Anthony Edwards seems to be, like, absolutely thriving. And I think that would make sense, too, because I know Karl-Anthony Towns is a sun in Scorpio. Very private people. Very, very private. And I believe that Anthony Edwards is a Leo, and they're all about, like, let the sun shine on me. Let me entertain you. I mean, for the most part. So anyway, I can just see those characteristics coming out in those two, just looking at their sun signs. Anyway, and team ball on offense is key. It's a team. There's no I in team, so none of this solo stuff on offense here. And then defense, obviously, work on it. It's a work in progress. And I have written down here too, fans actually do help at the Target Center. Not saying that they don't at US Bank Stadium, aka the Bird Graveyard, but I mean, Target Center. Lit. All right. So take not Vikings. That should say take note Vikings. So I'll fix that right now. Take note, Minnesota. Take note. And then, okay, we're going to end on some nice stuff here, people. Some nice stuff, some fun stuff, some feel good. D'Angelo Russell is the dude. I mean, talented player. And He gave his shoes to a kid the other evening. I think it was after this Pacers game. And I'm going to pull it up here so we can watch it. It's just like, what a dude. You know, I love this. So obviously, like the Timberwolves said, D'Lo gave his shoes away to a young fan following last night's game. And then D'Angelo Russell, like, quote tweeted it. Living the dream. See you next game. I like that. We like that, right? We like that. So we'll play it here. Aw, good for that kid. And I'm sure, too, I should let it play, but oh my God, this kid's probably going to remember this for his whole entire life. I have to shut up here for 17 seconds. Let's just watch it together and enjoy it without me interrupting. I love that. Yeah. Loving it. Good for him. Aw, good for that kid. Don't we love that? We love to see it. That's nice. So good for that kid. You get a pair of smelly, sweaty shoes. But I mean, obviously that's amazing. Good for him. And I'm sure he'll remember that forever. Like forever. That's just so cool. I really like seeing stuff like that. It's fun. See, I like positive stuff too, you guys. I like seeing that. It's just really nice. And like I said, I just think that kid, he's going to remember that forever. So good on D'Angelo Russell. Good for that young man. And he's got some moves too. So exciting. And then to end on another positive note, an honorable mention, obviously, to our favorite hockey team, Minnesota. We are the state of hockey. Minnesota Wild. Here we go. Another team that has a record over 500 and has had one. Over 500 for a while. Minnesota Wild beating up on the Arizona Coyotes. Also, they're in first place, too, in the Central. They're sitting at 15-6-1. Snaps to the Minnesota Wild. Love to see it. So, a little breakdown here. Obviously, like I said, talking a little Timbies, honorable mention, because it is also Wild Wednesday. So, a fun little journey we had today. And so that's all I have for everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And just a heads up too, I'm planning on streaming Thursday Night Football tomorrow. It is the Dallas Cowboys, America's favorite team, whatever. And the Who Cares / Who Dat, the Saints. So swing on through if you would like. I'll be there. But as far as today goes, everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. And take care. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out. P.S. Mar, hi. How are you? Hi to you and Kitty. Miss you both. Take care. Stay warm up there. All right. Especially Kitty. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining. Have a great evening, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.